Hi guys and girls, welcome back to Watch the Time. Thanks for tuning back in. Thanks for coming back to see me. I'm really pleased you've done so, and I'm really pleased about to bring you another WM watch, formerly known as Weddy Merc. Fortunately, we've moved on from that. This one is a little stunner. They've been doing different iterations of this style of watch in terms of the case shape, bracelet, everything else. You've got the WM225, which is this one, WM226, WM227. This one, they've used sort of like a stone for the dial. They had malachite, agate and stuff. I'm really pleased about to bring you this one. They asked me which one I'd like to feature. I said dealer's choice, just send over whichever one. I was quite happy I didn't get malachite. No disrespect, I featured quite a few malachite on the dial, so it's nice to get this one in. WM watch is a brand that are making massive strides forward. Really nice finishing, really beautiful dials. Color match date windows I do like as well. What I would like to see now, especially on a watch like this, it's about £200, which is a beautiful watch. I'm not saying it's not worth the money, but I like the bracelets to be a bit more premium now, in terms of rather than the stock bracelets they're using, and the clasp I'd like on the fly to be sort of standard, especially on some of these watches. But other than that, I find very little fault in some of the stuff they're doing now. Really good brand. When they were Weddy Merc, they were a brand that people are sort of mocking and stuff. I think we've moved well away from that now. They're doing some exceptional stuff. Does this follow in that vein? So we're going to get there together. I'll leave an affiliate link in the description. Please feel free to use it. I'll also leave a link to their website and stuff. But sit back, relax, get yourself a nice beverage, a nice brew, because it's about that time. Let's get the camera turned around and get on with it.
Hi guys and girls, so this is the watch. This has been the usual sort of packaging I've been getting from WM watches now for a little while. It's very similar sort of inner sort of case, getting instruction manual, all that stuff there, hang tag. But yeah, generally it's very similar to what you're getting now from sort of San Martin, Proxima and the like in terms of the inner. And this is the watch. You'll see I've taken 3 links off for it to fit my wrist. And this is their sort of natural stone one. This is the agate. They're also doing malachite and stuff, Amazonite. I said to them, dealer's choice, send over whichever one you want me to review. And they did. And here it is. So here we have the watch. So this is the WM225. It's one of 3 different watches they've sent me recently. WM225, WM226, WM227. The case shape and everything looks identical, but different dials. And this is the Agate one, I believe you pronounce it. Really stunning sort of dial, to be honest. And the hand indices, I think, look fantastic. But and I'll also bring the other colours up next to me, so you can get a real feel for what may be more in keeping with your taste. But a really nice offering from WM225. And I don't know, to be honest, that there's a more improved brand around, especially in the AliExpress space, doing some excellent stuff. Inside the watch, it's running a Seiko NH35 movement. What can I say about this movement that I've not said before? This is without doubt, without question, the movement I've had in most of my watches by far, probably by 2 or 3 times the amount. There's a good reason they use it. Rugged, reliable. What can I say? Inexpensive. Really, they run really accurate as well. But yeah, 24 joules, 21,600 beats per hour, 41 hour power reserve. Excellent movement at a good price. So yeah, what can you say? In terms of the construction, apart from the crystal, it is all 316L stainless steel. A bit of a mixture of brushing and polish throughout. Done really nice. I think the head of the watch is unreal. The bracelet and the clasp, not as good, especially when you consider the price that I'll bring up in front of me. But yeah, so the bezel, case back, solid Lennox bracelet, clasp, crown, all 316L stainless steel. A bit of a mixture of brushing and polishing throughout, and done to a good standard, which, as I've said, I'm not surprised given what WM watches are doing now. But the case thickness of the watch is 12.4 millimeters. The case diameter, I measured from the 8 to the 2. It was coming at 39.1 millimeters. When you go from the 9 to the 3, including the crown, it was coming at 41.6 millimeters. The lug width on this is 20. That does taper down to 18 and back up to 21 millimeters at the clasp. A little bit strange, it goes bigger, it's very unusual. The lug to lug tip, the tip of the watch comes in before you look to consider the center link, so the end link is 45.6 millimeters. That does become 51.6 millimeters when you include the center link, which is a bit unfortunate. It does downturn a little bit, but adds some unnecessary length there, in my opinion. But yeah, the bezel is brushed with a nice facet polished edge, as is the case. Crown situated over at the 3 o'clock position, signed, and you got the case back screwed down, sterile in nature. The bracelet it comes on is brushed with polishing at the sides, push pins. It does the job. It's nothing special. You see the solid the Melwin links I mentioned before, but with the price going up, I'd like to have seen a bit of a nicer bracelet, and definitely on the fly for the clasp. I think it deserved an on the fly clasp, especially when you consider just how nice the watch is itself. Yeah, I would like to have seen that. Unfortunately, it isn't there, but yeah, bracelet with push pins, fully milled clasp, signed. But that's everything going on there. The crystal covering the dial is a sapphire crystal, and just showing off that really beautiful dial, looking very, very nice. The water resistance, its site has been 100 meters. That'll give you 10 atmospheres of water resistance, and the weight will appear in the top right, and it's 136.2 grams with those 3 links removed. With those 3 links back in, you're probably about 150, 155 grams. So yeah, good bit of heft given the proportions. But let's have a look at the dial in a bit more detail. So you've got a minute track going around the outer edge. Inside that, you've got applied battens everywhere, slightly smaller down at the 6, given that's where the date is. And I've said many times, and I'll say many times moving forward, that is my preferred date location, because for me, symmetry is everything. With my OCD, it drives me a bit insane sometimes when it's not there. But yeah, works very, very nice. The hand and indices on this watch just scream quality in terms of the facets, how they play with the light. Really nicely done. You got a double batten at the 12, single battens everywhere else. As I mentioned a moment ago, you got a smaller batten down at the 6, given that's where the date is. You got an applied logo on this that looks really, really nice. I'm here for an applied logo, and I'm not hating the logo, to be honest, in terms of what they've settled in with the WM. Looks nice. Also looks a little bit like it's floating. And when you apply a nice logo to the dial, you get that aesthetic. I had it with the RZE watch a little while ago, and yeah, I'm here for it. Date is down at the 6, as I mentioned before. Good proportions on the hands, and I just love the way the indices sort of shine and glisten, as does the logo. And that dial is stunning in terms of the sort of orangey tones you get. It's more orangey yellow at the top, going to deep orange at the bottom. In terms of the stone, it's agate, and I just think it looks beautiful. Really, really nice. In terms of the head of the watch and everything else, the finishing done is fantastically. I think if they could have followed it up with a slightly better bracelet and clasp, this watch would have been absolutely unbelievable, because there's so much to like about this watch. But yeah, hands, indices, the logo, dial, your automatic printed at just above the date location down at the 6. You've got the WM logo applied just below the double batten. And you're thinking now, Si, this all seems really, really good. What's the loom saying? So I'm going to bring the loom up in front of me. So the loom, it's okay. I wouldn't say it's fantastic, nor is it bad. But I would like it to have been a little bit better, given the price. But given the sort of nature of the watch it is a sort of dressy piece. Maybe a GADA sort of type watch. But yeah, so the loom could have been a little bit better. I wouldn't say it's bad, but I wouldn't be able to say it was really good either. So I'd put it in that sort of mediocre sort of category generally. But you can't have it all. And with a watch that is ticking so many boxes, there has to be sort of things that are not quite as good. And the loom is sort of sits in the mid-range. There's definitely things that I don't like about the watch, but the loom isn't one of them. It's sort of, yeah, it is what it is. In terms of the movement, as I said before, NH35, you pull the crown all the way out. We'll scroll through, and it landed basically bang on, didn't it? What we're going to do now, we're going to go to the position. I normally start my reviews around sort of here, 7 minutes past 8, because I know now it's in the safe position for changing the date over. I don't change the date over between the hours of 8 p.m. and 4 a.m. because you may do some damage to the movement. Scroll towards me. You can see the date is really well centered in where it's been cut out. And that's everything going on there, guys. That's the hand, indices, dial, movement. Yeah, everything going on there. Loom. Let me just pop it on the wrist quickly, give you an idea of what it looks like on my wrist. One moment, guys. Okay, so guys and girls, this is what it looks like on my wrist. My wrist is a 7¼ inch wrist, just for your reference. and I think is a real beautiful piece. Really nice. Bracelet and clasp are okay, but I just don't think it's befitting of a watch. The head of the watch is beautiful. Dial, hands indices, everything going on there. The finishing of the watch, really, really nice. And again, just a real sign, a show of intent from WM Watch, a brand that, like I said before, I don't think that there's a more improved brand on the AliExpress platform than WM Watches. But guys and girls, as ever, please let me know what you think about this watch at this point. Okay, so guys and girls, that will now take me swiftly on to what I think is pants and Pukka about the watch. If you've ever watched before, you know I always start with pants. I like to go on a high with Pukka. So what I think is pants about the watch is there's a few more things than I would have expected, to be honest. First off, I'm going to say the bracelet. It's not bad, but with the prices creeping up, I would like them to not be using the same stock bracelet all the time. That's okay for a watch half the price of this watch, but with the prices creeping up, I'd like to see that different. The clasp also fully milled, nicely done, but again, on the fly would really be befitting of this watch, especially with the price being sort of like in San Martin territory, and they offer a lot of on the fly clasp, and they Melvin links, just unnecessary length there, guys, if you ask me. Doesn't need to be there, and doesn't look bad, but just adds too much length to the watch generally. And finally, I'm gonna go with the price. So I'll bring the price up in front of me. For in and around £200, I think is a beautiful watch. The head of the watch and the dial, everything are fantastic, but just a few bits that make it a bit pricey for what it is. So they're the things I'm going to say for pants. I'm going to go with the bracelet, clasp, Melvin links, and the price for what I think is pants. What I think is Pukka. Quite a bit more, because I do think it's a really nice watch. There's so much to like about this watch. First off, I'm going to go with the sapphire crystal. We all knew I was going to say it. The dial, again, another thing I could not omit, because it's beautiful. It makes me think of the sunset, the way it's been done. Really, really nice. Handed indices, very, very premium. You'll see how they're glistening. They just, yeah, the scream quality to me, to be honest, guys. Handed indices. The applied logo, up at 12. Again, looks very, very nice, doesn't it? The applied logo. The date location and also the date color. Yeah, my preferred location. I love the fact they've color matched it, because it just doesn't stand out too much. Looking really cool. The finishing, and when I say finishing, I mainly mean on the head of the watch, because the transitions, the way they've been done on the head of the watch are really, really nice. And the head of the watch really is the star of the show. It's a really beautiful, beautiful, well-made watch. And finally, I'm going to go with the general look. It's a stunning piece. I've had lots of compliments on this. Many people have asked me where I got this watch from. I pointed them in the direction, so I don't know if it's led to sales, but yeah, I can see why people like it. It just looks like a really beautiful piece, and the dial just looks like a sunset, doesn't it? So they're the things I'm going to say for Pukka. I'm going to go with the sapphire crystal, dial, handed indices, applied logo, date location, date color, finishing, and the general look of the watch. Oh, a lot to cover. And that'll take me on to, would I recommend this watch? And I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be for everybody. Again, it's quite colourful, very vibrant, screams sort of summertime. So if you don't want to watch that's quite so colourful, it's probably not going to be for you. But generally, I just don't see fault often with a lot of stuff they're doing. I know there's bits they need to improve on with their bracelets and their clasp, especially as they push on in the price bands. But I think they're doing some great stuff. Really, really like this watch and a lot of stuff they're doing. So I wholeheartedly would say, guys, pick one of these up. Really, really nice. You won't be disappointed. But guys and girls, as ever, please let me know what you think about this watch. And maybe any other watches you may want to see on the channel. And as I always say, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And always watch the time. Take care, guys. All the very best.